Have you ever wondered why life feels so heavy? Like you're constantly climbing uphill but never quite reaching the top? Or maybe you've been told you're too strong or intimidating, but deep down you're just exhausted? What if I told you this had less to do with who you are and everything to do with the energy you're operating in? In today's episode of Ask Cindy, we're diving into two subtle but powerful signs that unhealed trauma is keeping you stuck in masculine energy without you even realizing it. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to shift into balance and reclaim your natural flow. So here's the question I want you to think about. What's one way you've noticed yourself staying stuck in doing mode? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear your experience. So first sign that you're stuck in masculine energy is living in overdrive, constantly doing, achieving, and fixing. You wake up thinking about your to do list, push through exhaustion, and tell yourself you'll rest when everything's done. Here's the problem: everything is never done. Living in overdrive keeps us in a loop where our worth feels tied to how much we can accomplish. This is classic masculine energy. Action oriented, linear, and focused on outcomes. I remember coaching a client, let's call her Sarah, who was juggling her career, family, and trying to build her dream business. She told me she couldn't enjoy a Sunday without feeling guilty for wasting time. She thought resting meant she was falling behind. But when we unpacked it, we discovered this belief came from her childhood. Growing up, her parents praised her achievement but rarely acknowledged her for just being herself. That's the thing. Overdrive is often a survival mechanism we learn early on. For Sarah, slowing down and allowing herself to pause felt foreign, even scary. When she finally gave herself permission to rest, she discovered something surprising. Her creativity and energy returned. She became more productive without forcing it. Here's your challenge. Set a timer for 5 minutes today. During that time, do nothing. No multitasking, no planning. Just sit, breathe, and notice what it feels like to pause. Then come back and let me know in the comments. How did it feel to simply be instead of do? The second sign is difficulty trusting and receiving. You might think, I can do it faster, better, and with less hassle if I just do it myself. On the surface, this looks like strength and independence. But underneath, there's often a fear that others will let you down or that asking for help makes you weak. This hyperindependence is a trauma response. Maybe in the past, you've relied on someone and were let down. Or maybe you learned early on vulnerability wasn't safe. Whatever the reason, this defense mechanism keeps you stuck in masculine energy, where control feels like the only way to stay safe. I used to be that person too. That's why I recognize it. A while ago, I was leaving and moving from where I used to live to another state. And even though I had friends who had offered to help, I insisted on doing it all myself. Halfway through, I was exhausted, stressed, and regretted every decision. I had a friend that actually showed up unannounced to lend a hand, and I'll never forget how uncomfortable it felt to let someone else take over. But you know what? That small act of receiving changed everything. It made me realize how much lighter life feels when you allow others to support you. Hyper independence can feel safe, but it's also very isolating. Feminine energy invites trust, not just in others, but in life itself. So here's your next challenge, guys. Next time someone offers to help, say yes. Even if it's uncomfortable or feels unnecessary, practice allowing. And also, please share your experience in the comments. How did it feel to let someone support you, even in a small way? These two signs, living in overdrive and difficulty trusting, are often rooted in unhealed trauma. They're survival mechanisms, the ones that kept you safe but are now holding you back. I know because I dedicated my life to fixing these things in myself. It was a struggle at first, but a lot of my wisdom came from it. Do I regret the way that I used to survive? No, I applaud her. I love her. However, once it became my detriment, it no longer served me, and it was getting in the way of healthy relationships, healthy interactions, and it was quite isolating. Even though I loved my own company, it's also, how do I put this in words that can, there's a moment where you realize that if you need someone to turn to, you don't have anyone because you've never let anybody in and they just think you can do it all. You're a superwoman. And that's a tough moment. I know. It was me. I say this to say that healing begins when you bring awareness to these patterns and start making internal shifts. I don't want you guys to be on these endless healing journeys. That's not the point. It begins with awareness because if you realize what you're unconsciously doing, you make it conscious, you make another choice, you change the reality. So by slowing down, practicing trust, and inviting feminine energy, you create a space for balance. And balance is where your true power lies. It's not about choosing between masculine and feminine, but learning to flow between the two. If this episode resonated, I want to hear from you in the comments. Which of these signs, overdrive or hyperindependence, feels most familiar to you? And secondly, what's one small step you'll take this week to lean into your feminine energy? Let's have an honest conversation. Your insights inspire someone else to take the first steps towards healing. And if you're ready to go deeper into healing and reconnecting with your feminine flow, check out my mini guided meditations on my guided breathwork playlist. It's designed to help you release trauma and balance your energy. The link will be in the description below. Thank you for joining me today on Ask Cindy. Be sure to like and subscribe and share these episodes with someone who might need it. Remember, stepping out of masculine energy isn't about losing strength. It's about gaining balance and reclaiming your full self. I'll see you in the next episode, where we'll continue exploring the hidden patterns that keep you stuck and how to break free. Until then, take care of yourself. You deserve it.